West is flexing its muscle, and China is not impressed.
The so-called joint military exercises by these countries, frankly speaking, has no impact on China at all. They're just burning a little more oil for themselves.
In a first ever, Japan is being joined by Australia, France, and the U.S. in military exercises in the southwestern part of that country. The drills include fighter jets and amphibious operation exercises, as well as naval maneuvering. Many believe that the activity in Japan is a show of force aimed at China, as Japan works towards expanding and consolidating military alliances in an effort to deter the neighboring superpower. However, it seems that the drills may have been counterproductive in some respects, irritating China instead of working to contain it. According to an editorial in China's Global Times newspaper, the United States will be defeated if it engages in combat with China in its neighboring waters. Another article in China's Global Times said, the People's Liberation Army doesn't even need to make pointed responses to the joint drill since it's insignificant militarily. PLA should make concrete steps in its own development, like it did with recent drills and warship commissioning, said analysts. Japan has had long-time territorial concerns in areas of dispute with China. Beijing has made claims to the Japanese-administered Senkaku Islands, and through the years, there has been Chinese military activity in the area. That said, China has insisted that it is not a threat to anyone and is merely concerned with its own territorial integrity, citing the Japanese exercises as misplaced energy on behalf of the participating nations.
I hope they will spend such time, energy, and resources more in severing their own people's interests and making more contributions to the current fight against the epidemic at home, as well as international anti-epidemic cooperation.
The Japan drills are a part of an increase in military activity involving the U.S. and its allies in the region.
Every day, it seems, I wake up and there's another military exercise and another military exercise. And by the way, it goes both ways. Where does this end?
Well, let's take a leap of imagination. Imagine that the United States had 4 hostile countries. I know it's almost impossible to believe. Imagine America had 4 enemies. And imagine the 4 navies of those 4 enemies turned up off the coast of the United States and conducted drills, say in Cuba. With landings, amphibious landings, a critical mass of warships, firing, missiles, and so on. How would the people of the United States, how would the government of the United States react to that? And you have to walk a mile in the other fellow's shoes in international affairs. And if you try to, you'll understand how irritating this must all be to China. And what a spur it must be to China's own warship development, the commissioning that was just referred to there. If they're not fools, and I don't think they are, they'll be building so many warships right now that no one will dare to steam up the Yangtze or in the East China Sea and threaten them in any way, Rick.
What you just described in Cuba kind of happened already in 1962. And we came this close, George, to World War III as a result of that, when the shoe, as you say, was on the other foot.
Well, experience is the only good thing about getting old, Rick, and it means that we lived through the periods in which the end of the world, if not nigh, was at least a distinct possibility. And yet now we are cavalierly dispatching huge military assets into someone else's sea, the East China Sea. The clue is in the name. Now, this is all very foolish and dangerous. It would be far better, now that we're cooperating on the climate change issue, if we could turn down the dial rather than turning it up and getting back to some kind of cooperation.